Hi everybody, my name is Richard Bucciarelli and welcome to the next edition of the Soccer Fitness video blog. So in this video blog we're going to be discussing a muscle and also a movement that are critical to optimal performance in soccer as well as to injury prevention. So the muscle is called the glute medius and it's located on the outside back side of the hip, and the movement that the muscle performs is called a hip external rotation, which basically means that it brings the hip into an externally rotated or an outward position and doesn't allow the hip to rotate in. So the first exercise that we're going to talk about that trains the glute medius and hip external rotation is called lying resisted hip external rotation. And to perform this exercise, you have to lie down on your side with a TheraBand, and the TheraBand is providing resistance. So the TheraBand is going to be wrapped around the legs, around the thigh, above the knee. The thickness of the band will determine how much resistance you get. So if you're just starting out, you should use a very thin band, and as you get stronger you can progress to bands that are more thick. The keys to performance of this exercise are that you need to be facing with your hips square so the hip doesn't actually turn up, and when you do the external rotation, or when you bring the hip up into an externally rotated position, you still keep the hip square or pointing sideways while the knee comes up. 3 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions work best for this exercise. Okay, so the second exercise that we're going to talk about to strengthen the glute medius and hip external rotation is called TheraBand side steps. And with TheraBand side steps, they're performed from a standing position where you stand with the feet as wide as the shoulders, and a TheraBand is wrapped around the ankles to provide resistance. Again, the thickness of the TheraBand will be determined by the experience with the exercise as well as muscular strength. To perform the exercise, the athlete will step to the side as wide as possible while still maintaining balance, and the band provides resistance with this side step, and then bring the back foot or the trailing leg back to the starting position, so there's still tension in the band. Continue side stepping to one side for the predetermined number of repetitions, and then repeat the exercise by stepping back to the original side. 3 sets of 8 to 10 steps per side is good for this exercise. Okay, so the third and final exercise that we're going to talk about to strengthen the glute medius and the hip external rotators is called a stability ball standing hip abduction with contralateral hip external rotation. So the setup of this exercise involves standing with the side of the body facing the wall and a stability ball held against the wall at the height of the knee of the inside leg. You stand on one leg, so the inside leg is off the ground and the knee is held directly in the middle of the stability ball. So to perform the exercise, abduct the hip of the inside leg by pressing the knee against the stability ball, and this will immediately cause a contralateral hip external rotation on the outside leg, which is the leg that's standing on the ground. So hold this contralateral hip external rotation for a count of 5 seconds, and then relax by releasing the abduction of the inside leg. Perform 2 to 3 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions per leg. So taken together, these exercises are going to help to strengthen the glute medius and the hip external rotation. And the reason that this muscle and this movement is so important in soccer is because it's the muscle and the movement that keeps the knee facing in a forward position when doing all of the high intensity movements that soccer players have to do. And that includes jumping, landing from jumps, running, and also planting the leg when kicking, tackling, or challenging for the ball. And all of these movements, if they happen with the knee rotating inward or internally rotating, will predispose the athlete to serious knee injuries, including damage to the meniscus or cartilage, as well as the anterior cruciate ligament or ACL. So thank you all for watching this edition of the Soccer Fitness video blog, and I look forward to seeing you all again next time.